Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so very good morning, and today is the first day of the 2-day online retreat. Actually, not really much of a retreat, as you know. It's not really a precept. You can have your dinner, and there's like 2 breaks in between the day, and we keep it as relaxed as possible, not too overly formal. Maybe just do some short intro in the 15 minute before we start. But I haven't got to know Susanna, is it? Susanna Cheng. Are you present? Sometimes good to know the background. Have you meditated before? So that we won't go too deep. Okay, so if they're not convenient to talk, then maybe we start off with a short guided sitting. It's like a warm-up for the day. So this first session is just like breakfast, important meal for the day. So you need to nourish the mind with something wholesome, something positive, and as like most of the sessions, I would like to emphasize meditation is not about sitting. Right? It's, even after the session, you get up, you walk around, you have your meal, you talk to people, always maintain right mindfulness, always generate right thought all the time, because every moment is mental cultivation. And you sit down here, you have a greed hatred delusion. You stand up, also a greed hatred delusion. Yeah, so we are training the mind. We're not training just this sitting posture. Yeah? Okay, so if you are at home sitting, feel free to sit on a chair, or like what I'm doing now, sitting on a chair. But if you want to be, you want to look professional, if you want to sit on the floor, by all means. But please don't torture yourself. Find the correct kind of cushion. Make sure you're at the proper height. Or if let's say you're new and sit on the floor, ideally the the hip, right? The hip region has to be higher than the knees, so that the intestines won't be sort of crumpled up, won't be crouched. Yeah. So you open up the organs, have more spacing, and you won't feel so cramped. Okay, so then I'll leave you to adjust. Yeah. So without further ado, we find a comfortable sitting position. And those need to adjust, please adjust. Okay, make sure your back is upright and body relaxed. Yeah, the back upright, but the rest of the organs relaxed. So some people say, upright, how to relax? Upright, need to use a muscle. So one of the strategies is you can tilt your lower spine forward, maybe half a degree or 1 degree forward. And you can find a natural center of gravity. Hi, Anjif. Welcome. We just started. Okay, so if you find the natural center of gravity, then you don't need a six-pack muscle to hold your body upright. You don't need so much core muscle. You just tilt to the forward a bit, and naturally it will be upright. And then you can relax your whole body. Okay, so we are starting off in the same routine. First is we are doing these impurities of the body contemplations. Yeah, we're going to try to detach from the body, reduce certain greed or hatred to the body. So starting first with the hairs, and visualize your hair from head to toe. So untrained person or the ordinary program, default programming would be extreme thinking. Yeah, extremist. Yeah, extremist thinking. So one extreme is greed. So when we see the hair, oh, so nice, so beautiful, we like our hair, so develop greed. Yeah, then the other extreme would be hatred. Yeah, the hair so ugly, don't like the fashion, so messy, then develop anger, hatred. Right, so these are the two extremes. So Buddhist meditation, we are walking the middle path. So middle is not 50% of both, but avoiding both extremes. So we are first using loving kindness to soften the mind, reduce the extreme of aversion. We're going to wish all the hairs well and happy from head to toe. And every time you visualize a new patch of hair, a new area of hair, you need to generate this new thought of loving kindness, which is well and happy. And so new area of hair, well and happy, new patch of hair, well and happy. And so this is part of right effort. And never ever throughout the session, leave the mind idle. Never leave the mind autopilot. Once you leave the mind idle, then it is said to be the workshop for the devil. And the mind will naturally cling onto unwholesome states of mind. Things like daydreaming, restlessness, worry, or even falling asleep. So these are clinging to sensual pleasure. So I would always like to give an analogy. It's like you are driving a car, you pass by lots of scenery, you don't stop at every scenery, then you have this traffic jam. So just carry on with the journey, and whatever you experience, just treat it as a scenery. So keep generating well and happy. And then next we think of thoughts of non-greed, and to counter the other extreme, we are going to contemplate on the impermanence of the hairs. All the hairs go through birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. So they grow long, get dirty, turn white, and they fall off. So we keep on thinking of the growing and falling, growing and falling. No need to think or of this dramatization, how you look after your hair and so on. Yeah, no need. Just hair growing and falling. Many, many birth and death cycles. The more the merrier. So throughout the meditation, if you are getting peace and inner joy or happiness, then this would be signs that you're on the right track. But if anytime you feel lots of tension or anxiety, that means something is wrong somewhere and you need to troubleshoot. It means the mind has gone to the extremes. Yeah, you need to troubleshoot with non-greed and non-hatred. Okay. So for those who just joined in, welcome. We are now contemplating on the parts of the body. You can join in. Uh, Now we are going to ask ourselves, are these hairs truly self? Can you tell the hairs not to go through birth and death? And next up, we are going to visualize the nails, yeah, fingernails and toenails. May they be well and happy. Okay, for those who just joined in, we just started the morning breakfast meditation to have a good meditation, a wholesome meal, give your mind some nutrition. We're going to do some bodily contemplation, and now we are starting to visualize our nails and wish them well and happy. Okay, and all the nails are subject to birth and death. They grow long, get dirty, have wear and tear, and they drop off. So we think of the growing and falling, many cycles of birth and death. And then we can ask ourselves, are these nails truly self? And we tell the nails not to go through birth and death. For those who just joined in, we are doing this bodily contemplation, and you can now visualize your teeth, all the teeth in your mouth. May they be well and happy. So when you do loving kindness, there should be an inner smile. Yeah. And the more you frown and get grumpy, then things wrong. And all these teeth, they go through this birth, aging, sickness, and passing away. Right? They grow and change in shape and size, get dirty, change in color, decay, wear and tear, and they fall off. Yeah. So if you want to think of impermanence, you just think of the bone cells growing and wearing off. Yeah, growing and falling, many, many cycles. The more the merrier. So no need to over dramatize the visualization process. No need to think of how you visit the dentist, how you take care of your teeth, and so on. No need. Yeah? Just think of the growing and falling of the bone cells. And whatever pleasant sensations in the process, although it's an indicator that you're on the right direction, do not stop and cling on to it. Neither should you reject it, but maintain the impermanence. Yeah, maintain thoughts of impermanence, reflecting on impermanence, and treat all these sensations as passerby. And then we can ask ourselves, are these teeth truly self? And we tell the teeth not to go through birth and death. And the next part of the body, we are now visualizing the skin, right? All the skin, outer layer of the body. We're going to wish all the skin well and happy from head to toe. So the skin is a rather large area. So whenever you visualize a new area of skin, you have to generate this thought of loving kindness. So new area of skin, new loving kindness, yeah? Every time new skin, well and happy, new layer of skin, well and happy. So throughout the session, never leave the mind to do nothing, yeah? Doing nothing is what we do best before we sleep. So once you do nothing, it means a very high chance you're preparing for sleep. So that's not what we want in the meditation. It requires some skill. We call it skillful thinking. So you need to keep generating or producing this loving kindness. And once you have thoughts of non-hatred, then we introduce the thought of non-greed. So we think all this skin go through birth, aging, decay, and passing away. Yeah, they're all impermanent. So you think of the growing and falling of the skin. Yeah, lots of dead skin falling off every day. So skin growing, skin falling, many birth and death cycles of the skin. The more the merrier. No need to think of how you take care of your skin. No stories and dramas. Just growing and falling of the skin many, many times. And then we are going to ask ourselves, are these skin truly self? Can we tell the skin not to go through his birth and death? All right, next up we are going to do the next phase of meditation, which is these four sublime states. Four sublime states. So no need to visualize. Yeah, this is a spatial training. We are just dealing with the sense of feel. So we are now going to wish all beings in front well and happy. And no need to push or exert the mind, just a gentle wish. And we come back to ourselves. And we are going to wish may all beings behind be well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. Next, we wish all beings on the left be well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And we wish all beings on the right be well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And now we wish all beings above well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And we wish all beings below well and happy. And we come back to ourselves. And this time round, we are going to feel the entire body from head to toe with loving kindness, including the insides of the body. So we wish every part of the body well and happy. No need to visualize, just feel. Yeah? Feel the sensations. Whatever sensation that appear, arise, you wish it well and happy. So no need to purposely create the sensation, no need to cling on to it, and no need to reject it. Yeah? So treat all the sensations as passerby, and any passerby sensation that arises, just wish it well and happy. So you do this for the whole body. Okay, so for those who just joined in, we are now doing this loving kindness meditation, radiating loving kindness throughout the entire body. Okay, then once you have suffused the entire body with loving kindness, and we take note this is the restricted form of loving kindness and still within the confines of the body. And next, we are trying to develop boundless loving kindness, no boundaries. So we are now going to wish all beings in all directions, above, below, and all across. May all beings be well and happy. So this is an interesting practice. There's no need to visualize, deliberately visualize, because any form of visualization is actually stereotyping these all sentient beings. Yeah, we have no idea how all sentient beings look like. Yeah, so it's a concept. So we wish all beings well and happy. It's an expansion of the mind, and no need to push the mind. Yeah, no need to exert in any direction. And make a gentle wish all beings well and happy. Because if you deliberately want to make your mind a bigger area, extend it, and if let's say you stretch it to the extent of causing tension or strain, then this is a form of restriction. So the way we practice boundlessness is to remove the boundaries of craving, greed, and hatred. So we keep on generating loving kindness wherever your attention may be. It can be within the body, it can be outside the body, but the whole idea is no pushing or exertion. Once you wish all beings well and happy, whatever sensation that arise, the same thing, wish it well and happy. So it's a here and now, moment to moment loving kindness. Because this thought, yeah, all beings well and happy is a concept. You cannot really see the all sentient beings in the far side of the galaxy. Yeah, it's just a concept. So we maintain the right effort. Every time new sensation arise, well and happy. New sensation arise, well and happy. So the more loving kindness you generate, the calmer your mind will be. So this is the paradox of right thinking. Right? So you need to have thinking, the right thoughts in the Eightfold Path. So there's no such thing as no thinking. as the mind gets calmer and calmer, then it gets closer to the state of boundlessness. Yeah? So of course, there's no end to this boundlessness. So you can keep generating thoughts of loving kindness, carry on with the journey, the Eightfold Path. Whatever calm or pleasant experience, always treat it as a bonus, a sideshow, a passerby. Carry on with the journey, no need to stop and look at it or cling on to it. Okay, so this is loving kindness through the samatha route, means using concentration and loving kindness. And next we are adding some insight, some wisdom to this loving kindness, how to practice so-called unconditional loving kindness. And because there's still clinging, so we want to practice more detachment. Right, so every sensation of this loving kindness, we are now going to observe impermanence. Right, every sensation, there's a birth and death, there's a arising and passing away. So we keep observing the impermanence of all the sensations. To cultivate this unconditional loving kindness, or loving kindness with wisdom. So talking about impermanence, some people's connection have impermanence, so I need to repeat the instruction. Now we are doing loving kindness. We are adding some wisdom or insight to the practice, so we are observing impermanence of all sensations. How to practice loving kindness with detachment. So every sensation, observe birth and death, or arising and passing away. Okay, next up we are switching to the second sublime state, which is compassion. So compassion, we are now going to wish all beings, may they be free from suffering. So likewise, there's no need to visualize or dramatize the sentient beings. Oh, certain person is hungry or certain person is sick and in pain, right? So that is a kind of compassion, very, we call it circular or mundane kind of compassion, which we will not dwell in at the moment. It's very losing energy, dissipating of energy very fast. People can get burnout and depression. So we are now training this recharging kind of compassion. That means every moment to moment arising compassion. So we are just going to observe moment to moment sensations. So wherever your attention may be, can be inside the body, outside the body, whatever sensation arise, you wish that dharmas free from suffering. So every time you generate this new thought of compassion, it's like decluttering your device in your mind, yeah, lots of junk files, and you're decluttering them. So the more compassion you have, then the calmer the mind should be. Okay, so this is cultivating compassion with samatha, yeah, with concentration. And now we are adding some insight, some wisdom into this compassion. So we have to ask ourselves how to be truly free from suffering. Right? Is we need to detach from these dharmas as well. So the way to detach is to again practice impermanence, observe the arising and passing of all the sensations, birth and death of all the sensations, and the mind will naturally get disenchanted and let go of all the formations. So keep observing impermanence. So again, this is a long journey. In your own free time, you can explore how calm can the mind reach. Carry on this. That means don't stop at any calm and peaceful states. Keep traveling with impermanence. Yeah. Okay. Then we are moving on to the third sublime state, which is this appreciative joy, yeah, mudita. The third sublime state. So we are going to rejoice in the accomplishments of all sentient beings. May they never be separated from what they have achieved. So again, no need to dramatize. So and so have achieved this or that. Yeah, so it's moment to moment rejoicing. So every moment is a cause of rejoicing because once we are aware of these arising dharmas, now arising sensations, then that is the cause of our existence. Yeah, so that is moment to moment rejoicing. Okay, so once we appreciate this state of mind, then next we are adding some wisdom and some insight into this appreciative joy. Yeah, is that all things will come to pass. We will eventually be separated from all that is dear and appealing. So we are going to observe the birth and death of all sensations, all dharmas, all sensations, yeah, arise and pass away. And we are now switching to the fourth sublime state, which is equanimity or upekkha. So we may already have experienced this equanimity here and there throughout the entire session since the beginning, but now we are starting this upekkha practice from scratch as a sublime state. So we are now going to contemplate on karma. Yeah? All beings are the owners of their karmas, heir to their karmas, whatever good and bad they do, and we shall be the recipient, yeah, for all the actions. So again, no need to think of any story or what I've done in the past to deserve this. We just think of here and now. And we try not to dissipate too much energy, worrying and speculating. We are not observing the here and now conditions. So whatever pleasant sensation that arise, that is the good karmas ripening, and whatever unpleasant sensation that arise, that is bad karmas ripening. So in short, any sensation arise, karma, sensation arise, karma. So if you do not experience any emotion of joy or happiness, then this emotion should be called equanimity, and not the neutral, nothing kind of emotion, but rather uplifting, kind of refreshing, and still neutral kind of emotion. So if you fall asleep, that is not equanimity. Okay. And then again, we are now adding some insight to this equanimity, right? How to be free from all the karmas is to again practice detachment of the 5 aggregates. And interestingly, the karma is also karmic formation. That is our 4th aggregate, mental formation or karmic formations. So once there's karmic formations, then there is consciousness. Whatever kind of karmas will give rise to the kind of awareness we have, the state of mind, and it also gives rise to all the different feelings, pleasant, unpleasant feelings, all the elements, hard and soft, warm and cold, whatever sensations we feel, is due to karmas. So again, we observe the birth and death, arising, passing away of all the sensations. So we maintain this mindfulness of impermanence, and another gentle reminder from the Karaniya Metta Sutta. When we practice this boundless loving kindness or any of the 4 immeasurables, be it standing, sitting, walking, or lying down, as long as we maintain these boundless states, then this is the highest practice. So with that in mind, we can gently open our eyes. Physically, it looks like we're not meditating, but mentally, it's ongoing mental cultivation. Yeah. Okay. For those who have opened the eyes, any problems or issues? Because I'm just following the timetable. We have a short Q&A for those who have issues. Yeah. All okay? No problems. Okay, so we try to maintain this pleasant, wholesome state of mind with impermanence until our next session. Yeah. So you can do this in your lunchtime, in your rest, because if a person can get grumpy and angry the whole day, why can't you have loving kindness the whole day, right? So yeah, it requires some effort and practice. Okay, so anyway, this is a retreat, so good time to practice. And if there's no other issues, then I'll see you all at what time again?
The next session is 1:15.
Okay, yeah, 1:15. I'll see you all back in the Zoom. Okay, so see you all.